Come on now.
Hey guys.
It's just a pineapple.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Here at the Swamp, get ready to beat LSU. Y'all tune into Rule Number 1 podcast on Monday.
Episode 17, partner. We're still going, and we got a really cool one here tonight.
Yeah, we've been talking about this one for a while. We mentioned, a couple little snippets, a couple teasers about this guy. I grew up with this next guest. We went to high school together. Had a lot of cool stories, and without further ado, McCoy Moore is on tonight.
What's up, everybody?
Yes.
So for all y'all that don't know, McCoy is a singer-songwriter. He lives in Nashville, Tennessee. He's got several songs on Apple Music and Spotify.
Oh, yeah.
So we're super excited to have him on.
Yeah, man. McCoy, you've been one of like our marquee guys. Like from the start, like when
I appreciate that.
Yeah, when we like set out, like, all right, we want to do like an interview-based podcast. Like, who are some people that we know that will draw some attention? He shot you out first off rip. I was like, all right, man, we're going to do a little time before we're going to prove ourselves before we get somebody like him on.
Yeah, I was like, I got a guy.
Yeah,
but
Hey, I'm always happy to be here with some good old boys. That's all that matters.
I just love hearing his voice in this mic too.
it's funny because a lot of our bigger name people that we've had on, for instance, like Jake Fox and Forrest, he's a GA at Tennessee, and McCoy, we all went to high school together, so it's kind of cool to we're all out of high school now, and we look back and look at all these successful people that we all went to school with. So it's
crazy.
It's super cool. But
it's an LCS tree right there for you.
Exactly.
You're gonna have to take
sometimes I claim it, sometimes I don't.
But a little backstory, like I said, McCoy and I met in high school, and I graduated. I was a year above McCoy,
Yep.
and you dropped out and then finished online, didn't you? Your senior year.
So I got multiple detentions in a week for my beard. And so I went home and I was like, Mom, I'm not going back. And so that's kind of what sparked it. I left. I didn't drop out necessarily, but I left, and then I started doing homeschooling, and that's when I started playing guitar and stuff.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's the start right there.
That's the start.
That's crazy.
One of the main stories, and I tell people about it, and they were like, how was McCoy in high school, whatever, this and that. And one of the main things I always remember, he would always get in trouble for his beard because we couldn't have certain. We always had to shave our facial hair off at school.
Crazy.
And another thing is in study hall, we had a study hall class, and there was a back room, and McCoy just started getting into singing and doing covers and stuff, and he would always bring his guitar to school. And in this back room, McCoy would always be by himself or whatever, and he would be singing and playing his guitar, and we're all studying or whatever, and they were like, "Would that guy shut up?" And I was like, "Dude, I like it. Let the guy do his thing."
Yeah.
And
There were very few supportive people at that point, for sure.
Yeah, and I always thought that was funny. I was like, McCoy was always in the corner room just playing his guitar, and people were like, "This guy sucks. He's not that good." And then look at him now. He's in Nashville, Tennessee, recording songs. So
I wasn't like Nathan. I couldn't make the baseball team. So
So now that you guys have a little backstory on our guy McCoy here, we ask all of our guests this question off the top of the episode. McCoy, I know you're in the music industry. You're up in Nashville, so it might affect your response here. What is your number one rule to live by?
My rule to live by has probably changed in the last couple of years just because life has changed a bunch for me. But the one thing that sticks out to me is I've always told myself, if you love it, make it work. And if it feels like work, you don't love it. And that's kind of been my motto for a while, because it's hard to, when you're chasing something that you don't know what the outcome will be, it's hard to see the end goal.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that I've been trying to get better at, is just knowing that the end goal I'll never reach it, because I always need to put something ahead of it so I can just keep going. And that's pretty much it. That's all I live
dude,
by.
I like that. Yeah.
It's almost like you're never satisfied, so you're always reaching and trying to better yourself every
But
single time.
He's not, drugged down by work either. He's doing stuff that you love, man. That's what you got to do. If not, you're going to be, punching the time clock, dragging your knuckles every day, and you ain't gonna be too happy doing that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. If you don't love it, you'll never want to do it. So
Yeah,
I definitely love what I do.
Exactly. So tell us a little bit about, we mentioned, you starting covers in high school and everything. How did you make that jump where you were like, all right, you know what, I'm going to Nashville? Like, how do you go from, doing covers on your Instagram to, you know what, I think I'm going to pick up and move, across the country?
Really, it was just a songwriting thing. Like, I always did poetry when I was younger. Like, I won some, like, small county awards or something for like poetry, and I didn't know what any of it meant. I was just rhyming words. But then when I started playing guitar, I wanted to put words to it. So I would sit at my house, and I was homeschooled for the last year, so I would sit at the house and try to make songs up and do all this stuff. But I just started meeting people gradually that were in the industry. I'd reach out to people that didn't have a clue who I was, but I was still trying, But I did that, and the songwriting thing was what really took me like there. When I went up there and I got to write songs with people that were already there and already had a fire for it, that's when I was like, man, I don't see myself doing anything else,
That's awesome.
So that's where it changed for me.
That's a God-given talent, being able to
Thank you, man.
like to write songs, man. It's hard. Dude, I have a really creative mind. So like sometimes when I get bored, I hear like Two Coats, Tyler Childers on his latest album. It's just an instrumental. On my phone, I have lyrics written out. Like I get bored and do it too, but it's hard, man. Like when I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my gosh, I draw a blank. I don't know what to do.
It's a muscle, as is anything, but it's great, man. Once you really get into it and like figure out. I mean, I never thought I would use grammar in my life. Just like you never think you're going to use a math equation. Yeah. But when I started doing it and actually like getting down to the nitty gritty of it was when I was like, man, there's nothing better than this. Like, it was fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Look at this guy. I mean, got the nothing fancy hat on. He looks like Hardy a little bit with the glasses.
I like it. It's a good look, man. It's a good look.
I love it.
I'm new to the glasses, by the way. These just got on my face a couple weeks ago, so still learning how to do that too.
So you moved up to Nashville. How old were you? Like what?
I moved when I was 19.
You know, our last guest, Aditya, moved to the United States from Indonesia when he was 20. So like I respect you. I gave props to him
for sure
for like following his dreams. He left his country, dude. Like props to you. You're 19 leaving Polk County. We know how things are around Polk County. It's as small as it can get and as rural as it can get. And you go to like pretty much Hollywood of the East.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the best way to put it.
And like at 19, I just can't imagine. Like what was it a culture shock? Like
it was the biggest thing that I realized is it's a bunch of small town people in a big city.
Okay.
So you go there and there's guys just like me and guys that you two would get along with.
Yeah.
And you would have no idea, but when you get there and you hang out with people, it's the same people that are just like us that want to go drink beer on a Friday night and go to work on Monday through Friday morning, Like, there's nothing different about anybody up there. We just do the same thing everybody else does here. Really.
That's awesome. Cool. So like you didn't get like how I'm picturing myself at 19 and somebody telling me, hey, you're going to Nashville to do this. I'd shit myself. Like I wouldn't know I wouldn't know what to do. Like
did you have like any connections up there already, or how'd you find a place to live, or did you know anybody up there?
So my now roommate, we've been roommates since I moved. I'm 21 now, so I've been up there for about 2.5 years. But my now roommate was like blowing up on Facebook. His name is Bryce Malton. But I messaged him, and we kind of just connected, and he let me go crash on his couch, and that's how that connection happened. But I knew some people. Like I had a great experience at some shows and stuff where I got to meet people that normally you wouldn't get to. So it's been pretty cool to me, but I did have a few connections and people helped me along the way when I didn't deserve it at all. I'm just a kid from Polk County, so it's like they didn't have to do anything for me, but a lot of people helped me.
That's cool. Bryce Malden, that's your roommate now. Yeah. I've seen him before on TikTok, I guess, when I was younger. Great. Yeah, he blew up. Man, that's so cool. That's so cool. It's such a small world,
and he's from Webster.
So, okay.
Yeah, just north of us.
That's cool. Yeah, I know.
Oh,
so you record a lot with Josh Phillips, don't you?
Yeah.
He's making it too, isn't he? He's getting pretty big.
So he stepped back from the artist thing, and he's doing just songwriting stuff.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So he's very successful, very awesome. But he was also an early person that we actually met on Call of Duty.
Really?
We were playing Call of Duty together, and so I would also go up there and go crash on his couch sometimes too, and just mess around, dude. Have fires, do all that stuff.
What's your go-to system? Like, what do you?
Oh, I'm a PS5.
Yeah, respect.
PlayStation guy, for
Respect.
I don't do that Xbox
Me
stuff.
either. I just can't. The controller just no. I don't. No, I can't do it.
Well, there's two types of people in this world.
Exactly. It goes all the way back to the PlayStation 2 whenever you're young. You can't switch it up.
Yeah, no shot.
You actually, funny story. So I remember McCoy. I called McCoy up one time, and I think it was probably my freshman or sophomore year of college, and you were like, hang on one second, and you were talking to me or whatever. He's like, oh yeah, sorry, I'm playing video games with Chris Young right now. And for y'all that don't know, Chris Young's very established country singer. Tell us a little bit about some of the established singers that and have relationships with.
Really, so I met Chris through Josh Phillips. So Chris and Josh are really good buddies. We met through him, and we started playing video games and stuff, and I totally I was still in shock kind of, because I'm like, dude, holy crap, I listened to this guy growing up.
Yeah.
But there's also Jake Owen has been a huge mentor for me. Since I moved to town, I was driving through Macon, Georgia. My mom was with me in the truck when I was moving, and we had 11 hours to just actually talk about what I was getting into.
What's about to go on.
Yeah. And so I posted this picture, and it's me, my truck, and my house down here in Florida, and I got a DM on Instagram, and it was from Jake Owen, and he's like, hey man, what's your number? And I had never spoken to him, right? And so I gave him my number, and then 2 minutes later, I get a call, and it's Jake, and he's like, hey man, this is going to be the best decision of your life. You need to be up here, all this stuff. And so that's how me and Jake got connected. And to this day, he's still one of the best friends that I have, and he's always awesome. There for me on that front.
Dude, I can't, every time you see Jake Owen, I'm just sitting myself, in my head, I'm kicked back, relaxed in Daytona Beach with a beer in my hand with Beachin' playing right next to me.
Yeah, that's right. I'm still the biggest fan of Jake, too. I love his stuff, man.
So did he ever tell you, how he found you, or it was just,
So
he just came across his page, or what?
So I assume you might have heard of Music Ranch in Lakeland.
I think so.
North side, but deep north side, and I'm from the north side of Lakeland, so I'm like, dude, I used to go there for radio shows at 97.5 all the time.
Yeah.
And so I went to a show when I was 10 years old, and I met Jake, and I was probably knee-high to a grasshopper, decked out in my camo jacket like we used to wear when we were kids.
Yeah.
And there's a picture of me, my mom, and my brother with Jake. And so I remember I sent Jake this picture on Instagram one time. And, then the DM thing happened when I was driving there. And he basically, we talked about that picture, and he's like, dude, yeah, I saw that. And I just now got a chance to respond.
What?
Yeah. So it's literally because of a picture that I took when I was 10 with Jake.
That's
dude,
awesome.
that is insane.
That is
dude, that's crazy, bro.
Weird stuff.
I have a story like that too. Can I say?
Wait. So he's gradually scrolling through his DMs, and he's like, "Oh, here's a picture 10 years ago from a kid." And it turns out he's moving into Nashville this week.
So I don't think
crazy.
it was that I don't think it was that necessarily, but also I knew that I would do covers on Instagram you were saying. So if I did a Jake cover, I'd tag Jake. If I did a Brooks and Dunn cover, I'd tag Brooks and Dunn. So it was I tagged him a few times, and he would like my stuff. Well, then that day that I was moving to Nashville, he followed me out of nowhere, and I was like, "Oh, dope."
Yeah, dude, that's cool.
That's pretty much how it happened.
That's so
dude,
cool.
I have a question about that, the social media and stuff. I get fan struck. I'm a big Coetzel guy, huge Coetzel guy. I get fan struck when he likes my tweets. It's not actually him liking my tweets, is it? Like,
Could be.
yeah,
Could
yeah.
be, though. You never really know.
God, every time I get like, he's done it like 4 times. I've kept track. Like I said, super fan. Kept track.
That's okay.
Yeah, dude.
You gotta love every artist wants.
One day I hope he's in this. Like I hope he's in this chair too. Like, but every time he does it, I always screenshot it. I'm like, I either send it to him or I send it to somebody.
Yeah,
I just wanted to know, like, do they actually like do their own social media, or they
Sometimes, but also they do have people for it.
Okay.
So it could be a totally random thing.
See, like, I feel like that happened. We went to Machine Gun Kelly, who was
All time low.
and Giovanni and the Hired Guns.
Yep.
Oh, gosh.
Not too long ago, and Gio said something on stage of like, "We're here to like party," like with a lot more explicit words. And so he said that, and I tweeted it like at him, like, "I'm here to party too," with like the same, and he liked it like right off the bat. So I was like, "Wait a second, he's still on stage. How do you like my tweet?"
Yeah. See, that's when it's somebody else for sure.
Oh, man.
Well, I think somebody liked one of my TikToks recently.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
big for him.
Lord.
That's big for him.
Should we get into that one?
You can keep it. You can keep it on the deal. So I posted a TikTok not too long ago, talking about Lainey Wilson and be like, oh, Lainey Wilson, she's so pretty. If y'all know what I'm talking about,
yeah, we get it.
And I was telling a story to McCoy, and you've met Lainey before a couple times, haven't you?
Yeah. Me and her, we've had like previous connections back in Nashville. When I first started going up there, she was friends with a lot of people that I was friends with. And so I knew Lainey like years ago. We don't talk much anymore.
Yeah.
But years ago, yeah, we were friends, and I haven't seen her in a while, but to see she's doing great and everybody is in love with Lainey now. It's awesome.
You gotta text her, but hey, you need to give me a spot on Yellowstone, like an
real.
extra spot or
Dude,
something.
I'm the biggest Yellowstone fan too. So when you see Lainey on there, you're like, damn, dude, that's crazy.
Hey, did you see who popped up this past episode? Dale Brisby showed up
Yes,
on
he
Yellowstone.
did.
I have not watched
We're not gonna ruin it for you.
Yeah.
You just did.
Sorry.
He didn't say anything. He was literally a background guy.
Yeah.
Like the camera went by and Dale Brisby was like,
Yeah.
The world's best cowboy.
Literally. What's the one that threw me for a whirl? Nobody told me about this, and I can't believe social media didn't crack up over this Yellowstone episode. Is when Zach Bryan, closed the episode out with like a personal song or one of the episodes.
Yep.
When he came on, my jaw dropped. It's like,
Crazy.
there's 2 of my favorite things right there on screen.
Heck yeah, dude. I just feel like if you're going to listen to Zach Bryan, which I've listened to some of his stuff, but obviously like when you're like in music, you're consumed by it. So you hear everything. So I haven't got a chance to listen to like all of his stuff front to back. But the stuff that I have listened to, I'm like, man, I feel like I should be like in Colorado sitting on a red rock and just like engulfed in flames or something out there just crying my eyes out. It's crazy.
I seen a TikTok and it was this, just blue collar guy. I think it was on like an oil rig or something. And it was a Zach Bryan song playing in the background. And he goes, y'all boys smash a Red Bull and blast Zach Bryan on your way to work. Do you even try to be happy?
You can't be.
It's like the music just puts you like, it's good. It's okay to be there every now and then. That's headspace.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I love it.
But don't stay sad forever.
Yeah, don't stay sad. Speaking of which, we're talking about all these other guys' music. You, partner, released a new song not too long ago, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
You want to tell the folks about it?
Yeah, so this song's called Beer On Out, and it's a song that I wrote with Joe Lasher and Wesley Davis. And we wrote it originally, and I sent it to Jake, funny enough, and he was like, dude, this song's awesome, blah, blah, blah. But then later on, I was like listening to the demo over again, and I'm like, man, this is kind of something that I would say. So that's what made me put it out. I was just like, dude, I want something that's fun and that's going to get people on their feet. And so I went out on a whim and put it out. It had been a while since I put music out, But yeah, it's called Beer on Out. You can check it out everywhere. It's on literally every service you can think of. So go check it out for sure.
Yeah, dude, it's a good one. It's a bop.
I appreciate it.
I feel like once the summer gets around and that kind of mood gets back, people aren't cooped up indoors, but like when you can get out and barbecue a little bit, turn up Boy McCoy on, listen to his song.
Absolutely.
I promise it's going to set the mood right.
Come on, y'all.
So I see a lot of stuff whenever you're writing songs with other buddies. Are you embracing more of like a songwriter role now rather than singer? Or obviously you're going to make your own music too, but
yeah, I mean, I moved to Nashville with the intention of being an artist. So my thing is I want to be an artist. Like I would love to play in front of one person or thousands.
Yeah.
I don't care. And I have a ton of fun on stage. But one thing I did realize about myself is when you really take time to look at the craft of writing a song, you fall in love more so with that part of it.
Right.
Because I believe in song first. Like if you don't have a good song, if say Morgan Wallen, if he didn't have a good song to sing, he wouldn't sing it.
Yeah.
And you can't go up there and sing bad songs and think that people are going to listen to them and love them. That's just the truth of it. So it starts with songs, and that's why I want to say stuff that I would say, and that's why I write songs. But I haven't totally thrown away the whole like I'm not gonna put music out for this amount of time and do this and do that. Like I'm gonna put songs out as I feel like they're what I would say. If I write something one day that I'm like, hey man, this would be better for my buddy over here, or this would be better for this person, or we should send this to this guy, then I'm fine with that too. I don't go into the room every day and be like, hey man, I'm going to write a song for me today. I just don't feel like that's the way to do things for me.
That's something that kind of blew my mind, though, in the music industry. Like, with the songwriting, like, I thought, growing up, George Strait wrote all his songs. That it came straight from his hand. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I always pictured it. And, it's crazy to think that, like, so-and-so, this song didn't work out for Kenny, but, maybe Toby Keith can sing it or something that. Like, have you had any songs, like, that people we would know?
I haven't had any, like, huge cuts. I have one on a Shane Prophet record.
Okay.
And you might not have heard of him yet, but he's on the radio. He's one of my good buddies. Sorry. But, yeah, he's one of my good buddies, and we actually met in a Bass Pro. And
ironic.
Just like the true Polk County boy.
Yeah, there's a song itself.
He met Chris Jansen in a sushi restaurant. And 2 weeks later, he had a publishing deal, which is for writing.
Yeah.
And I guess 6-7 months ago, he signed a record deal over at Big Machine. And so he's about to put out his first record, and I have a song on that. That's the only person on the radio that has cut one of my songs yet. But I think 2023 will be a real good year. So I'm looking forward to it.
McCoy's a very modest guy.
Yeah,
so I feel like that might be a little snippet
that
into
look,
the future.
Too, that he gave us. That was like,
he's
okay.
But no, so now if you don't mind me asking, and you can kind of beat around the bush if you don't want to answer this question. In terms of whenever you write a song, like for instance, 3 people, and say you, Josh Phillips, and Bryce Malden all write a song, and you're all sitting around, whatever, and say, for instance, Morgan Wallen wants to sing it. Do y'all all get, like, for instance, a percentage of that money, or how does that work?
That's exactly how it works.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like everybody asks me all the time. They ask that question, but they never get it right. Yeah. They're always like, so do you sell that song to those people?
Yeah.
Do you sell that song to Morgan
I'm a very
Wallen?
business-minded person.
Is Morgan Wallen going to record that song you wrote? No, it doesn't work like that. It's like we are the ones as songwriters, if I'm not writing for myself, that will send it to somebody if we think that it's right for them. And if they want to record it, they're doing us a solid by recording the song now. Back when you had to go into a Walmart and pay for a whole album, that's when you were making real good money because they didn't have any choice. They couldn't just buy the one song on iTunes or add the one song on Apple Music, whatever. So that's when you were making really good money. But it is a percentage-based thing now. So if it's a 3-way if you're signed to a publishing deal, the publisher will get a percentage of your percentage too.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, but publishers also have a job where they pitch songs, they do your calendar, they do all this different stuff that's way out of stuff that I could do myself, you know. But yeah, it's a percentage based thing, and it's you'll get 33% if it's a 3-way cut, 50-50 if it's a 2-way, you know, just stuff like that.
Okay.
It's a even split each way.
So kind of along those lines, I know, or I don't personally know, I've heard things where politics is very big in Nashville. Like you kind of got to sell yourself and this and that. Between the guys, for instance, like, you know, you got your Coetzel, Whiskey Myers, you know, the guys, what they call it, like punchy or, you know,
Underground.
Texas style
Outlaw,
guys.
Outlaw, right?
Outlaw, whatever. How does that work between the two? You know, those guys are big on staying like not record label type people. And then you got the Nashville people that are following more trends. You know, are there any crossovers or, you know, can you kind of explain the difference between the two?
So the difference between the two in my personal eyes is if you go to Nashville and you say, hey, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. And like there's people there that are going to help you do that. But if you're a guy down in Texas or if you're a guy out in wherever, like, and you want to do it on your own, Cody Johnson did it for a little while. But these guys, they have undoubtable success. So they can go in with a higher, I sold this many tickets this year. I did this, I did that.
Okay.
And so they have pull in those rooms where you aren't going to tell me what I can do and what I can't do because I'm going to go sell tickets either way, whether you like it or not. And so that's the main difference in the two is like those guys can do whatever they want to do down there for as long as they want to. But if they want to get on like the big world
Mainstream,
tours
yeah.
and do all this stuff, that's a different story. Like,
You gotta fit the mold, right?
yeah.
What about a guy like Hardy? Because he's not on a record label, is he?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, he is?
Okay.
He's with Big Loud, same as Morgan Wallen.
So can you explain this though? Because whenever he sings the song Sell Out, whenever he was like wall to wall, but I still ain't sold out.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Because if he has a record label, then he's sold out.
What I think he means by that is like the whole place, the whole venue is like sold out. It's wall to wall.
Yeah.
But he hasn't he's still himself. Like he's making the music that he wants to make.
Okay. Because the whole time I'm thinking he's wall to wall, got the whole thing packed out, but he's not on a record label. And I'm like, oh, good for him. He's independent. The whole time he's got a record label. Yeah. I was thinking, if this guy doesn't have a record label, you know how much money he's making?
Yeah.
Like, this is unreal.
Dude, and honestly, like, there is parts of it where they're like, oh, we got to get you a stylist and we got to do this and do that, which I haven't had yet. But it's like, they get you all this stuff and they might like fancy up your clothes or whatever, but your brand usually gets to stay as your brand. Like you don't have to change a bunch of stuff. And
well, it's what's got you there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what turned
for
heads.
Sure.
So
absolutely. Yeah. So I think that's like, it's not, the record labels aren't like the devil, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I hate to go back to him, but I just know a lot about it because like I've read papers and stuff about it. But my man he was dead set against. Like I'm not going to sell out. I'm just going to keep doing my own thing. It's doing well. I just toured in Florida, and then like one day I get a notification on my phone. Coetzel signs with Columbia Records.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you joking? And his first, of course, it's Sellout. Like,
that's his next album.
Yeah, Sellout. But, I didn't really notice, like, those guys, like, if they're independent like that, there's nobody, taking out. Like, it's all theirs.
Right.
So if you can sell out a venue by yourself, like, why not go do it?
Well, absolutely.
Yeah, and the thing is, whenever I'm saying like talking about sellouts and stuff like that, I don't mean it like in a derogatory term because if they can, for instance, these companies, they can take you from you're doing well to all of a sudden you're like tripling your money.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and because they give you all kinds of exposure, they give you the resources you need.
Why would you not do it?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, but if you're making like Co and those guys, they were doing fine on their own for sure. But at the same time, if you go into, like I was saying, if you go into a record label meeting and you're like, I'm not changing, if you want to enhance what I'm doing already, then we can work together. That's what those guys are doing. Because they are like, Why would you not take more money to be the same person just on a bigger scale?
I think that was a part of his deal too. Like, if I'm misunderstanding, if he's listening, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But I
Tell
think
us, Co.
Yeah,
I
just
think
tweet
it was-
at us. It's
I
fine.
think he had like 2 albums where he could keep doing his like rock punk, like, punk thing, country blend, whatever you want to call it. You don't really have a genre.
Yeah.
I want to call it punk.
But the next 2, a part of Columbia, I think has to be like country. Like, we signed you as a country artist now. Like, we want a country sound, and I'm pretty sure his next album is going to be a country sound. Which I'm not. I mean, I'm co-fam. I'm not looking forward to that. I like I like to party hard, but it's just I can't believe they have that kind of control. Like, I guess they do.
When you sign your name on the dotted line, I mean, you're handing over a lot of the reins for sure.
Well, that's what people are talking about whenever they sell. Oh, you're a sellout, whatever. It's because you are in a way giving up a little bit of control, and so I mean, you signed a piece of paper, but
the difference though is like I saw him at Janice Live. Don't get me wrong, Janice Live's a great venue.
Been there, yeah.
When he was independent, but then like he signs with Columbia Records, and like the next year I'm seeing him sell out like huge stadiums, like out in Texas and Oklahoma, and he did a freaking a collab with Snoop Dogg. So like Snoop Dogg,
That's
bro.
awesome. In my opinion, I think that is badass.
and it was on 420.
Yeah. So like
True.
and I'm like, okay, well, you could either keep your money or these guys could boost you to start doing cool things like that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna sign the
absolutely.
line too.
Dude, it's one of those things where it's like, say my job. My job is to go on stage and entertain people, and my job is also to go into a room and write a song that people would want to put their name on. You know, these people that you sign, like if you sign with a company, these are the people this is their job. Their job is to put you with the best people that you can write with. So I can go in and do my job right, Mm-hmm. So I'm a fan of the whole, like, if it's the right place for you to be, then you need to do it and just go for it. Because no matter what, if you don't have people helping you out along the way in any walk of life, any job, you're never going to get to where you could be, So I think that's where I would go.
So, man, we've talked about a lot of different things, but let's talk about, your everyday life in Nashville. Like, what does your day look like?
So on a normal day, like if it's a Monday through Friday, I'm getting up at like 9 because most writes start at 11. And which, if it was up to me, I would like to write earlier just because it's easier for me to get up and get my day started. But yeah, they usually start at 11, so I'll wake up at like 9, make a cup of coffee, drink my coffee, go over song ideas, like if there's anything that I'm super excited about. And then really I just head on down to downtown, Music Row and stuff, and whatever publishing company I'm writing at that day, I'll go in there, catch up with buddies that are also writers or whatever. And then I'll write a song. It usually takes about close to an hour to 4 hours usually. You never really know. I've written a song that took about 6.5 one time, so it was not crazy in the room, but it was a long day. But yeah, and then I usually just head home and I'll go over the songs, like the songs that I've written the past week, or if I'm ending the week, I'll go through the songs that I wrote that week and just kind of check over them, see if there's anything I really love. And then I'm a Call of Duty guy, so I play Call of Duty a little bit, But yeah, that's pretty much all I do during the day, and then do it all over again the next.
So in terms of like writing songs and everything, like, is there for instance, this sounds cliche, but like a Facebook group where you're like, hey, like we're all meeting up here, but or is it like, y'all have agents and y'all put together, like, how does that work? Or do you just meet friends and you're like, we're meeting at Starbucks at this place or whatever?
So really it's like you find your core, when you're up there, it's like you find your core group of guys or your core group of friends that are like your people. And if I'm close with somebody, I'll text them and be like, hey man, let's write this day, if it works for you. And so sometimes you set them up. Sometimes you have to go through companies. Like if somebody signs a publishing deal, you try to get it right with them through the company instead of through them now, because somebody else is doing their calendar. And if you mix, if it gets mixed up because they're doing their calendar and then they also have somebody at a company doing it, it can get a little squirrely there because you get double booked one day or this or that.
Right.
So it's kind of like based on, I guess, if you're close with somebody, you'll just text them and be like, hey, man, let's get a few dates. But really, nowadays it's all like publisher based. So they'll do the calendar for you, and you basically show up and write your song.
What a job.
I love it.
Right?
I know.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
You mentioned Call of Duty. You've had a couple of fun guys on Call of Duty, hadn't you?
Oh yeah. We got a good little crew on there. Josh Phillips, Chris Young. I jumped in a lobby one night and it was like Jason Aldean and Kane Brown were in there or something.
That's cool.
And it blew my mind because Kane is like, obviously, apart from being a dad and a husband and a country artist, if you sign him up for the MLG community, Major League Gaming, my boy would crush it.
Yeah?
Like, I got in there and I'm getting smoked, dude. Like I'm just getting torched by them. And so it's pretty crazy. You meet a lot of people in the music industry on that game. It's cool. Because it's all like, I guess it's just a small little songwriting community and stuff on the game. And we'll just chat. And
could you imagine, dude, like logging on? Oh, Jason Aldean, that's cool. I'm gonna play with Jason Aldean tonight.
That blows my mind. Like he told me that one time I called McCoy and I was like, hey, what you doing, man? And he was like, oh, hang on one second. And he was like, hey, Chris, hang on. He was like, oh yeah, I'm playing with Chris Young right now.
I'd been like,
that blows my mind.
You're good. I'll call back later. That sounds pretty important.
it was fun.
Y'all almost roomed together, didn't you, up there in Nashville?
Not real. We never did. It was more. I don't really know. I don't know what.
It was just like out there.
No, sorry, I could be wrong. I thought I heard you say that one time. I could be mistaken, but
It's okay.
No, I was never gonna room with him. I don't think.
It's a cool story though.
Yeah, I mean,
you should have just rolled with it.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro. I didn't know how to roll with that one.
For some reason, I thought you did. But anyways, so if you're out on the town, like, what kind of the spots are you hitting, man?
Yeah.
So my Nashville staple, if anybody comes to town, or if I have people that are like, hey man, I'm going to be in Nashville this week, I'm like, all right, well, we're going to go to Red Door.
Yeah.
And Red Door's like, it's literally just like the local hangout where you never know who you're going to see. Like, you'll go, I know that if I go into Red Door at any given time, I could go in there at 2 p.m. on a Thursday and I'm going to see somebody I know. And which is so much fun because it's like they serve Busch Light. It's like a big old porch. If they had rocking chairs, it would be perfect case scenario for sure. But yeah, man, it's pretty fun up there. Broadway is like the thing that everybody does. But if you're going to go out on Broadway, Whiskey Row, Kid Rock's, Robert's Western World for the 250 Busch Lights.
There.
250 Busch Lights.
I'm in.
But special, if you're looking to end your night in any way in Nashville, go to Robert's. They have a bologna sandwich, fried bologna sandwich, a Busch Light, and a bag of chips for $5. Special deal.
Especially in Nashville, man.
Yeah.
Like, that stuff's expensive, and it makes you feel like Polk County, doesn't it?
Dude, it makes you feel like you're literally sitting in Wild Greg's.
I wonder how many like drunk bridesmaids and
Or the coop.
and like the brides end up eating a fried bologna sandwich, on the night that they're going out and partying.
I mean, what a better way to like cap off a bachelorette party.
Yeah.
Like, it's the best, dude.
When we come up to visit you, I definitely expect to get the Busch Light and bologna sandwich to end my night.
Yeah.
I will get us a nice Swift Uber to the Roberts Western World.
I love it.
Especially with those prices, man.
Exactly.
It can be a dangerous night right there.
Shoot. Dude, you go up and order 6 Busch Lights and it's like, what? I guess $15.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
This is my
Yeah,
place.
I'm
This is
in.
my place.
Because everywhere else they're like $9. I'm like, dude, I'm not paying that. Sorry.
For Busch Light, you dang near can go get a case for that.
yeah.
Almost.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I'm going to have to check out some of those spots, man. I've never been to Nashville. It's on the bucket list. Definitely to get up there one day and check it out.
Crazy place, dude.
Dude,
Crazy.
There's so many celebrities that live there. I have one that comes to mind that I know that lives there because he's talked about it a lot. And I listen to a lot of podcasts. Have you ever seen Theo Von?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have.
Oh my gosh.
So I went to a show, one of my best friends, his name is Nick Walsh, and he calls me and he's like, hey dude, my buddy Jake Worthington he's opening for Ernest at, I think it was Exit In or something in Nashville. And he's like, hey man, do you want to go to the show with me? I'm like, hell yeah, I want to go. So it was like a Thursday night or something, and I went and met up with Nick. Well, we're all hanging backstage, and it was I guess it was his second show of that week in Nashville, and we went to the show, and I'm just hanging out backstage with everybody and everything, and then the show starts, and Ernest comes on, and I see Theo Von like walking out of the like side stage area, and he's just chilling right behind me. And I'm like, okay, that's dope. Like, he's hilarious, and I listen to his podcast and everything.
I do too.
Yeah, I mean, he's hilarious, dude. And so I was just chilling, talking to him and talking to everybody on Ernest's team and everything. And then all these people started seeing Theo on the side of the stage while Ernest is playing. And so people are like running up and asking to take pictures and everything and doing all this stuff. And so somebody came and asked me to stand in front of him. So that way it kind of blocked the view and he could watch the show from the side of the stage. And I was like, heck yeah, I'll do it. So I'm standing there and all these people are coming up, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, does that not ever get crazy? And he's like, man, I love it. Just keep letting them come up here. I'm like, all right, dude.
That was my next question for you because, like, dude, he's sprayed roach. Like, he's crazy. And
Guy's wild.
I was going to say, like, is he like that, just chilling, watching a concert? Like, is it just an act?
Dude, I think that his whole life is like, and this is totally me as a consumer of his content. I'm like, dude, this is like a guy that just wants to have the most fun. Yeah. If all possible. Just have the best time out of anybody there,
His clips are insane of his podcast.
I was about to
the most random stuff.
He has this one quote on his podcast that I was watching, and I don't know why, but I was driving down to Milledgeville, Georgia, to go visit some people, and I pulled up his podcast, and I'm watching this thing, and it was the most inspirational quote you've ever heard come out of Theo Von, and it's just like, dude, if I go back to when I was 20, I'd just ask her out. And I'm like, what do you mean by that? And he's like, whether it's a job, a new city, or an actual person, just go ask her out, dude. And I'm like, that is what I want to hear, dude. I want to run through a brick wall and just go do everything without caring about anybody's opinion.
Just go ask her out. I love it.
Just go for it.
Crazy.
So
I'm glad I mentioned that. Theo's like one of my favorite comedians,
Same here, dude.
And the fact that you've met him too is even cooler.
Crazier. Like,
it was totally coincidence, but I'm thankful for it because I had a blast at that show.
I freaking missed him. He came down here on tour, on a stand-up tour in Lakeland.
Yeah.
I missed him. I was so upset.
I was in Nashville. I missed that too, but I did see he was coming, and I was disappointed about that for sure.
So I want to talk a little bit about your music that you put out, man. What's your favorite song that you've put out so far?
My favorite song that I've put out so far, I've tried to level up with each thing that I did. The songs that I wrote, like Take Me Back, and a couple other songs that I wrote when I was here that I put out, they were very good for a 17-year-old kid, that really didn't know what he was doing. But at the same time, like, you get up to Nashville and you meet all these people that are so talented and can help you write the best songs that you feel like you can do. Yeah. And so I've tried to level up with each one, but genuinely saying this, like, Beer on Out was my favorite that I put out, the most recent one, because it's literally just a song about having fun. And like, if you if I look at it as like, it makes me want to drink a beer, so it's going to make other people want to drink a beer. And I'm going to have, I want to celebrate everything every day. And like, I'm just a beer drinking dude like everybody else. I came from Polk County, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, you got to do it. You got to do it.
Yeah, I remember whenever you posted TikTok, and if y'all haven't seen it, whenever he first released, like, hey, this song's coming out this date or whatever, and he posts this TikTok where he sits down in one of these zero gravity chairs, kickbacks, and cracks open a cold beer. And I just started laughing whenever you mentioned that, because you want to talk about the comments a little bit?
Yeah.
What were those comments like?
It was one of those things where I was so like excited to just like post something about the song. And it started blowing up, and you've experienced this where it's like TikTok is just like, oh my God, you refresh it and everything's just flooding in. And I look at the comments, and it's literally about a bird in the sky that was just like chilling back there, and they're like, oh my God, that's a paid actor. And I'm like, no, it's not. But then everybody was like, where can I get one of those chairs? I'm like, dude, my roommate's grandma gave this to us. Like, I have no idea. So I was like, yeah, dude, just go get it from Home Depot.
It's funny because I literally have like the same chair in my like back patio.
They're great.
Yeah. Very comfortable to drink beer in.
And so
yeah.
when I saw the video, I was like, dang, I relate to that. I was like, you know, just kick back in your zero gravity chair after work, crack open a cold one. Like,
It's
I love
crazy,
it.
dude.
Now, speaking of, you know, your songs, is that your most like popular, I guess, listened to, or
At the stage that it's at now, with like how long it's been out, yes.
Okay.
It's really cool because you can like, as soon as the song comes out, you can read like how in real time how many streams it's getting.
Man,
like,
that's crazy.
In the second that it came out. So I was down in Texas watching Florida kick Texas A&M's tail.
Go Gators.
You know? So I'm down there doing that. And I was at the bar when the song came out, and I'm just watching it, and I'm like, oh, whoa, this is a lot different than anything else I've seen. So I was very, very thankful for that. But yeah, man, like it has definitely surpassed goals that I have set.
Gosh, I couldn't imagine. I mean, we don't get like live analytics like that with our podcast stuff. I wish we did. I mean, we do on YouTube, but like on our Spotify numbers and stuff, we don't get that. We get like 24-hour refreshments, like kind of, it's kind of a drag, but
Spotify, come on.
Yeah.
but it's, I don't know. I feel like I would be sitting there like all day, just like what, like, you know,
fun,
addicting.
dude.
Like I think I feel like addicted to it.
It was like well, I can relate to it a little bit on one of my videos. It ended up getting, I think it was like 4.4 million views. And I was sitting with Brian at dinner one night.
Yes, you were.
And you know, I posted this video at work, like right after I got off work, like about 5:30. And Brian and I sitting at dinner, and I was like, my Apple Watch just started going like bing, 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 bing. And I'm like, what the heck? I was like, why is this thing like keep going off? And I keep looking down. It was like, someone followed you. I keep looking down, someone followed. And it didn't like register that I just posted TikTok. And like, you know, because before then I had like, I think my highest viewing was like 16,000 views. And
still
so
not bad.
Yeah, still not bad.
16,000 to 4.4 million.
It's a big difference.
It's starting out.
And so like my Apple Watch starts going crazy. So I finally look at my phone and I pull up TikTok, and it shows it was like 24,000 views. It's like, damn. And I refresh it, and then all of a sudden it was like 50,000 views. And I was like, in a matter of a second, I look at Brian, I'm like, bro, I'm going viral right
Just
now.
like that. Just like that. Not even like, it was just like,
He's
I'm going viral right now. Like,
And then it went from like, I posted a video at 5:30. We got done with dinner, and I got back home, and by that night, like before I went to bed, I hit 1 million. And it was like, it's crazy how nowadays like social media will just blow up. Like you post one video that's like
insane
out there that might hit a trend, and all of a sudden it's like boom.
it's a gaslight
yeah.
to it.
TikTok
It's crazy.
TikTok is like this age's Vine.
Yeah.
And so watching these people just like explode on TikTok. And don't get me wrong, I've had some success on TikTok. I'm thankful for it. But at the same time, you see these videos where it's just like the most random, like a pipe will bust or something.
Yeah.
At like a, I don't know, a water line or something will bust.
Yeah.
And it's just like dirt coming out of a pipe, and then the water rushes out, and people lose their mind.
It's got like 5 billion views.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Well, what do you even mean?
Yeah, I get that. I've seen videos like that all the time, and it just like irks me. Like I'm trying to figure out this algorithm, but I just can't.
People love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. This dang algorithm drives me nuts.
I can't even say the word.
It's because I will look at stuff and I will post things and I'll like, I have a couple of thousand views on it. And then I'll have like my like to view ratio is like at 45%, which is like really good.
Yeah.
And then if you're at 45%, and then I'm like, okay, I should be getting more views. And all of a sudden it's like, I'm not getting any views. I get a bunch of likes, but it's like, what do we got?
Yeah.
It's so
What do we got
frustrating.
here?
Yeah. But
With all the social media and stuff, companies have started to reach out to people. My partner here has got his first little kickback from TikTok. I've gotten a little, I guess, ambassador deal with a brand from up north. It's kind of cool.
Heck yeah.
Do you have anybody reached out to you, like sponsorship wise, and giving you?
yeah, I know you wear nothing fancy a ton.
Yeah, I do wear nothing fancy a ton.
I'll have to get one of those hats.
They're sick.
Yeah,
They are dope, and I love the company. And the real reason why I wear nothing fancy so much is because my head is just massive.
Big old melon head.
I've got a noggin on me, so I'm like, man, all these hats that like the dad hats that people wear nowadays. Like you see all the college kids, they wear these like dad hats, and they just don't fit on my head. So I was like, let me find something that's like a 5-gallon bucket that'll fit on my head, and nothing fancy. They sealed the deal on that
they
one.
did. I like that hat.
But some of the like Busch Light has sent me some stuff, and you are always welcome to send me stuff, Busch Light.
That's a dream of mine, dude.
But I've drank Busch Light religiously for as long as I've been legal.
Who's that sound? Oh, I'm sorry, partner. Who's that sound like?
It sounds like you.
That's all I drink, dude. Like,
my boy.
He's Fort Meade.
I'm
Polk County. Guys.
wishing on the day that Bud Light, wow,
Hey.
Busch Light reaches out and it's like, you know what? Here's your years of being a great consumer. Here's your free T-shirt or something. Like,
Well, buddy, let me tell you something, okay? We are religious drinkers to
Yes.
Busch Light, right?
yeah.
Alan Jackson here made one TikTok on a tractor, and he thinks he needs to drink Coors Light, but he switched to the Busch.
There's a reason why he's got his beverage over here with the label facing back towards the
That's
wall.
a Busch Light logo.
This is not a silver bullet. This is not a silver bullet.
Oh man.
So you got
Now-
Busch Light, nothing fancy.
I'm a Coors guy. Okay.
Yeah, you are.
Well, let's rewind.
It's okay. It's okay. It's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. But have you ever had the Coors banquets? The Yellow Jackets?
I have, and I will say they're good.
They are
They're
good.
premium beer, man. You're telling
good
me
beer.
you're going to take a Busch Light over a Coors banquet?
Absolutely.
Me too.
Every day of the week.
Yep, 2-1.
Buddy, I would
Finally.
take, you could,
I hate this that I'm ganged up on a Busch Light.
Finally, because it's always reversed.
it is literally named the Lord's Nectar.
Yes.
For good reasons.
Nectar of the Cobs, baby.
I don't know. I think that's a knockoff from Natural Light. I've always heard it was Nature's Nectar for Natural Light.
Buddy, when have you seen a Natty Light past like your sophomore year of high school?
Funny because all the Fort Meade people where Brian's from drink Natural Light.
They do, and they love
Oh,
it. Not
my
me.
God.
I've been a Busch guy since I cracked my first one.
Back when I was 7 years old.
Oh, man.
But yeah, Busch Light, nothing fancy. It's not a brand deal or anything. I just have a huge head. Expedition Archery, they were nice enough to get me in a new bow, and I shot the biggest deer of my life with it this past year.
That's awesome.
And little 14-point Tennessee whitetail. And yeah, it got me in the Pope and Young book, so I was all like jittery about that. But yeah, they've been great to me. It's just like hometown. It feels like they're hometown folks that are just like real, and that's what I go for and stuff like that. Because if I don't believe in what they're doing, then I'm not gonna rep their stuff. And if they don't believe in what I'm doing, I don't want them to put their name on it either, honestly.
Yeah.
So it's all about real people and real companies and real products to me, like what I would use.
That's kind of what Brock, remember way back in episode 4, we were talking about NIL deals with Brock Hutchinson.
That's another guy that we went to high school with.
Boy.
He was talking about like, I haven't settled on my NIL deal. Like I've been given opportunities. He's like, no offense to Crystals. like Crystal Burger. He's like, but,
He had an offer from Crystal.
yeah, I'm not going to go eat sliders every day is what he said. He's like, but I get it. Like you're going to, you got to wait for a brand that represents you just like you want to represent it.
Right.
Absolutely, dude. And personally, like, there's nothing wrong with going and getting a 24 count of sliders. But at the same time, I don't want to have to post it on Instagram.
That is very
You
true.
feel me?
Especially because, Brock he's a big fitness guy. And so he's always talking about fitness and, he wants a gym membership, deal. And for him to sign with Crystal Burger goes deliberately against that, I think.
That's going against the groove for sure.
Pretty ironic there.
But, you mentioned killing the biggest deer of your life, man. How do you manage, doing your hobby of hunting along with being a singer-songwriter?
In Nashville.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if you get to write earlier, because I said earlier we like write at 11 nowadays, and I also said that I would love to write earlier. So in the fall, I try to write earlier as much as I can to get in the woods. But at the same time, after like 2.5 years of living in Nashville, I still have a Florida license. So
That's rough.
Yeah.
I had to pay the out-of-state license fee this year, and that put a damper on it. I was like, man, I don't know if I want to buy it. So I missed the first like month of deer season.
So you get a whole season license, or is
Really?
it like a 3-day kind of deal because you're technically out of state?
You can get a season license.
Oh, that's cool.
So I went ahead and bought the season license, even though I didn't get to hunt much. I did it anyways, and thankfully it paid off. But like, if you get out of a rite, say at 1 p.m., if you ride at 9, you should be definitely done by 1 p.m. Then it's not that hard to get into the woods and like go sit for a couple hours.
Right.
But at the same time, there's also days where you don't know if it's going to run over or not. So I only got to hunt like 15 days out of this whole year, and I genuinely love it. I grew up hunting in North Carolina because my family has a farm out there. So we always used to go up there, and I had killed some decent deer, I guess, but nothing. Like I killed a buck in Illinois as well in 2017. It was a 9-point. But when this deer came out, I was like, oh my God, dude. It was just massive.
Get that shaking feeling.
Oh,
coming in
yeah.
that.
Especially with a bow.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, managing time isn't that hard up there. It's just like you kind of just have to take it as it comes and take it as it goes. Like if you get to go out and do it, go enjoy it. But if you don't get to, it don't really matter. Don't get too hung up on it,
I was going to ask you that. Like, Nashville's pretty populated. Like when you go hunt, like how many minutes you traveling outside of Nashville? I mean, hell, it might be hours.
Yeah. Is it public land or do you have access to some private?
So I killed this last deer on private land. I'm not going to give specifics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of where I
That's
killed
fair.
it.
That's fair.
But
That's a typical outdoorsman deal.
Oh yeah, dude, you can't give away your honey holes. So I do want to get into public land hunting more. I watch a bunch of guys on YouTube that public land hunt, and I think it's super dope. But to be honest with you, I'm not the guy that's going to be like, oh, you got to kill deer on public land to be a real hunter or all this stuff. Like, if you grow deer on a property and you want to shoot them, go shoot them. Like, who cares, dude? They're not your pets. It can be if you want them to be, but seriously. But it's not far from town for sure. Like, you don't have to get too far out. I have friends that hunt an hour and a half away from town that live in town.
Really?
So some people want to do that, and I also know guys that drive 15 minutes from their house and
that's my kind of hunting.
walk 2 miles back in the woods. So there's guys that do it all, but I stick pretty close to home when I'm doing it. I don't want to drive 2 hours every day.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is around Polk County, man. 15 minutes anywhere in any direction. You can find some hunting land somewhere.
And you can also hear a gunshot because everybody around here is shooting something.
Yeah, we were recording our last episode, and I kept hearing something out there. I'm pretty sure somebody was shooting in our last episode. And I was like, what is this?
Nothing
County.
would surprise me, especially out in the orange groves.
I know it.
All right, well, we do this kind of segment to notify our guests, signify our guests that we're wrapping kind of things up. We like to ask snap questions to all of our guests, man. It kind of gives us a look at your, I guess, outside of music or talk, a look at the true McCoy. This first question we ask all of our guests, and it's been giving us some really cool answers. So, if you could go to dinner with 3 people, dead or alive, throughout the history of time, who would they be and why?
So I definitely would want to talk to people that I feel like didn't get enough time down here, you know? So, Keith Whitley is somebody that I've looked up to for a long time, just like music-wise. I listen to his stuff still all the time. But I would love to have a conversation with him, just see why, why it had to end like that, and try to avoid that kind of stuff, have a real conversation. Willie Nelson would be another one, just because I think it would be hilarious. And that man could probably tell me some stuff that I probably would never hear from anybody else.
Yeah.
So that would be cool. And also, nowadays, with how we were talking about social media, guys like Bailey Zimmerman and stuff, that you literally, I guess, they're just thrown into the fire of fame, really. It's how do you deal with that in a way? That's what I would want to talk to him about too. It's if I could have dinner with 3 people, it'd probably be those 3, and also Morgan Wallen, because it's his life is probably insane.
Yeah, dude, Bailey Zimmerman, that man literally went off in 2 weeks. He goes from zero, decent TikTok to all of a sudden, boom. I'm pretty sure he has 2 or 3 songs in a top 10 charts right now.
Could you imagine?
And it's he's just a TikTok guy. And he makes great music, but it's it's insane. Your life can change that quickly.
Absolutely. Just bought a Corvette, all that stuff too. Yeah. He's doing great, and I love to see it for him.
And he went on tour with Morgan Wallen, right? He's going on tour. Yeah, he's going on tour with him. That's a 3 guys that he'd be really good to learn from. Ernest, Morgan Wallen, and Hardy.
It's gonna be a good one for him for sure.
And
he's gonna have a blast, because those guys are gonna be like big brothers to him, probably.
Oh yeah, 100%
for sure.
That's a good 3.
Oh yeah,
3/4. They're unique. We haven't had those yet.
Yeah. We stuck to a lot of country music on that one.
We did. I like that.
You're surprised?
That's right. Yes and no. Which brings me to my next question. If you could, we're gonna edit that out.
Okay.
Yeah,
we got a few things to edit out. Probably.
Yeah. Completely blanked on it. What was my question?
What is your
who's your favorite artist? Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, clap. So, which brings me to my next question. Who is your favorite artist? I know you like a couple different genres.
Yeah, I've got my horizons have broadened in the last couple of years. Just because, when you listen to a certain type of music all the time, a certain genre, it's I want to hear something different, But to be honest with you, my favorite artist right now that I listen to the most is Morgan Wallen.
Okay.
But if you want to talk about all-time stuff, getting down to what I listened to from the time I was knee-high to a grasshopper in the front seat of a truck to now, it would be probably Kenny Chesney and say Brooks and Dunn or Alan Jackson. Those guys.
Have you ever seen Kenny Chesney in concert?
So I've seen Kenny 3 times. He was my first show. Flip Flop Summer Tour 2007, baby. I was still picking my boogers and doing all sorts of stuff in the lawn because I was 6 years old.
Yeah, the Florida Amphitheater.
But I was there. And then I saw him at Tortuga on the beach a couple years ago, and it was just the best. You're watching the sun going down, and Kenny's over there, when the sun goes down. So I'm enjoying every minute of it, just oh my God, dude, we're on the beach listening to Kenny. But then, it was just I saw him a couple of times. I get to see him again in April.
That's cool. What a
at
treat.
Tortuga again on the beach. So that'll be super fun. But he's probably my favorite of all time for sure.
That's awesome.
Just because I relate. Growing up, you listen to You listen to the old records living in Florida.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Kenny Chesney's a staple.
Yeah, especially
here.
in Florida.
And he's from East Tennessee.
Yeah.
He ain't even from Florida. He just loves the Virgin Islands.
No, I saw him. I saw him in Raymond James. I think in like October. Slam packed venue, dude.
Of
like
course.
first time I ever seen him. Guy puts on a absolute show. Like, have you ever seen him?
I have not. I need to.
The guy is so fun.
Yeah.
So fun. Like, I mean, it's all your childhood songs you grew up on living in
Yeah.
Florida, and you're just
Literally.
like just jamming out the whole time. What a show. Have you seen Garth Brooks? What
I have
entertainer.
not. I missed the show in the swamp. I missed that show, and I was very upset about it.
Yeah,
Very upset about
I
it.
would be too.
Yeah, I seen him. Actually, that was a show I went to, and he sung some Tom Petty songs, and dude, it was.
Was it?
Oh,
Good
yeah.
one?
Oh yeah, another great entertainer.
Felt like the end of a third quarter in the swamp, didn't it?
Ain't nothing better than that tradition right
Won't
there,
back
baby.
down, baby.
Ain't nothing better. But our next question for you, McCoy. What is your dream car, man? It's kind of cliche, but it's a good one.
So, if you want me to go new with it, like
You go however you want to go with it.
I'll give you new and old then.
How about that?
All right. So new, if I was to go pick one up off the lot right now, I would probably go get me a 2000 and whatever year it is. Well, I guess it would be 23 now. Happy New Year. But yeah, so I would go get me a 2023 F-250 King Ranch.
Nice. Yeah.
And just deck that thing out to the nines.
All
And I was about to say put a boat behind it, but you asked what car, so I'll leave it at that. But if my true dream vehicle has always been a 70s model Ford, specifically 73 to 79.
Old square body.
Yeah, I just love the body style of them. But I actually just got one.
Nice.
Surprisingly
That's
enough.
awesome.
My great uncle was 96 and he passed away this past year. And he left me this old farm truck that was literally just rotting away in a field up at our farm in North Carolina. And my uncle, his son, took me out there and he was like, "Yeah, Uncle JT wanted to leave it to you." And I was like, "Man, I don't even know. I didn't even know how to
dream
take
car.
it."
Yeah.
And so now I have one, so I'm like in all of that still, but it'll be cool. My dad passed away when I was really young, so I had a step grandpa, I guess. But he's pop to me, you know. But he raised me and everything and just showed me how to be a man. And so me and him get to fix that old truck up now and keep it in the family, so it'll be cool. But
That's awesome.
That's a cool, man. That's cool. That
It'll
is
be
cool.
fun,
Yeah.
dude.
You know, I've been car shopping lately, and I was talking to my mom. You know, I've got the old soccer mom car, and
Yes, you
know,
do.
I've had a lot of cool vehicles, but some certain situations have take those cool vehicles away.
Wee
from me.
boop, wee boop.
and so anyway, so I'm telling my mom, you know, I'm looking for a new vehicle, and I tell her, I was like, you know, I really want like an old like CJ7 like Jeep, like antique Jeep, like cruise around town, or like, you know, old Ford Bronco. And she's like, "Nathan, be realistic. Like, what are you gonna do in that?" I'm like, "I'm gonna cruise around town and make TikToks and it look like a badass."
I just want to do hood rat shit with my friends.
And she's like, "That's not realistic. You know, you're going to want to go out of town and this and that. Like, you're going to want to go see McCoy in Nashville, or you're going to want to go do that and that." And she's like, "You can't do that in an antique vehicle." I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right. 2 weeks later, I come home for Christmas, and there's this old antique CJ5 sitting in the driveway, and I'm thinking, no way.
Yes.
And so my mom walks outside. She's like, "Hey, you like it?" And I was like, "Heck yeah, I like it." Tossed me the keys, and she was like, "It's mine. Go take it for a cruise." I said, "Do what?"
Oh my gosh.
She did that on purpose.
She goes out and buys this antique CJ5 cherry red, 44,000 miles on it. It's a 1983. Okay, and I'm like, are
Oh
you?
my God.
Yeah, beauty, absolute beauty.
yeah.
Tosses me the keys. I'm thinking I got a brand new whip for Christmas. Okay, nope.
She did.
Yeah, she did. And I'm like, what a slap in the face. But no, I love my mom. She deserves it 100%. She's been grinding. She's made her money, and she gets to enjoy it.
We got good mamas.
100%.
She got a good one.
Oh,
She
yeah.
got a good one. That Jeep's beautiful, dude. Like,
God.
oh my gosh.
Dude, we should just let's steal it one day and go to the beach and like put a surfboard on top, just cruise.
Do you think you can give me some tickets to Tortuga? We'll take the CJ5 down there. We'll try.
Hey, we can maybe see what we can do there.
But no, shoot, Mama Smo might be one to hop in with us.
She might be the one driving it down there.
You ain't kidding.
I love it. I love it.
All right.
But
McCoy, we know you're a very busy man, so we got one last snap question for you.
Oh.
It's not a lot of money, but you could do some things with it. If somebody were to give you $100,000 right now, no strings attached, what are you gonna do with it?
I mean, at this point in my life, I don't need a lot of stuff. Like, there's not a lot of stuff that I'm like, oh, I have to have it right now, because with what I do, it's like you gotta take things slow. Like, life is a lot, like, it's a lot faster now. It feels like time goes by so quick. But there's not a lot of things I need. But the one thing that I've been really wanting is to buy my own place, like buy my own like farm, and just have that. So if I could put that, if I had $100,000 to put towards that as well, that would be my main thing. I love Florida to death, and I love coming back here. Like, Polk County, Lakeland, Kathleen is like, it'll always be home, and the people here are fantastic. But I know I'm going to have to be in Nashville for a long time, so I do want to find, like, a place that I can be there forever.
Yeah.
And also always come back here and stick to my guns,
Yeah.
well, if you need a buddy to come look over your cows, just let me know. Like, I know a guy.
Oh, yeah. You'll be the first one that I call.
Be like, hey, Nate, I got this ranch. I'm on the way, McCoy. Don't worry. Selling my house right now.
Yeah, we'll go take care of the ranch and then go to Robert's.
Yeah, I'm in. Let's go get those bologna sandwiches.
Bologna sandwich right there.
I love it. I love it.
Well,
Heck yeah, man.
it's been a great one, dude.
Yeah, man.
Too much fun, boys.
We've had an absolute blast. And a special thing that we do on every episode is once we have a guest on, we follow them back on Instagram. So if y'all ever want to check out one of our guests on Instagram, we will be following McCoy. So you will get updates on whenever he's releasing new songs, what
Heck
venues he's at, cool people he hangs out with. So if y'all want to check him out, he'll be on our following list. And it's been a great episode.
It has. Guys, don't forget, every first and third Fridays of the month starting out, now we have Coop Nights. Come catch me and Nate live at the Coop doing our thing. Yeah. We're gonna have some fun with it. Can't wait to see who all comes out.
I wish I could be here every first and third Friday. Come on.
Yeah, maybe we can figure out a deal where we put on McCoy, have a little venue, a little concert.
Maybe a little pick strings.
Rule 1 McCoy concert.
Yeah. Let's do it. Well, man, we just want to thank you, and we appreciate you coming on. And
dude,
I know you're a
guys.
busy man, but I appreciate you coming on and doing all this for us.
Well, thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. Keep living fast, partner.
I'm going to try.
All right, guys. That's another great episode of the Rule 1 Podcast.
Till next time.
See y'all later.